The new Port of Hood River Foundation is getting a foundation makeover, and it's going to include new board members. The open call for board members is coming soon, open to people in both Oregon and Washington. Stay tuned.
A quick update on the license plate project. We actually put a pause because as I readied the project to launch, we hit some foundational framework obstacles. And the success of the license plate project is highly dependent upon the success and the public image of the foundation. And it was becoming pretty clear that the foundation itself isn't fully fleshed out, especially to the public. With an overarching mission statement. So it just was starting to look a little bit confusing specifically to the public. And the public is who we need to be on board as we launch this license plate project. It is recommended by me that we put a pause in the license plate project, but we pause and we launch it when the foundation itself is more ready for the public introduction, which includes a board that perhaps is not made up of the commission, which includes a solid mission statement for every branch and umbrella, a separate website, separate contact information. So I mocked up kind of a 6-month timeline for the foundation for your consideration to set the foundation up for the success of the license plate project, so that the license plate project would be ready to launch spring of 2026 with clarity for the public and the community about what the foundation is.
As far as your recommendation to change or not change, but have a individual board, which I agree with, for the foundation, is that something that you just need direction on how to select that initial board or the guidelines?
My project scope was the license plate project. And the success of that project is very much dependent upon the success of the foundation and how it's framed. So if the foundation would like me to work on that, I just need to be directed as so.
I'm just questioning whether a statewide license plate is really, and we can keep the ball rolling on that and moving forward.
For me personally, the separation of port and the foundation is a little murky right now. When in all of the forms that we're going to send out for artists, when we're talking on radio, press releases, all of those big marketing things that we need to do is going to direct everybody right to the Port of Hood River website. So it doesn't necessarily look like a clean cut foundation separation. It looks like the port. Does that make sense? So locally, I think it's very important to be clear. Statewide, maybe not as much, but we're marketing it to the state, and all roads need to lead to the foundation, not to the port, in my opinion.
The question that comes to my mind is that if it's likely that the new board for this would be different than us, shouldn't that board have a say in whether they go forward with a license plate program or not? I happen to agree with you 100%. It feels like it's one of the same. I can see people seeing this thing as a port program where in fact it's supposed to be somewhat removed from it and to the benefit of projects and so on for the community. It just doesn't quite feel right to me.
So would some good direction be to put a pause on for now and allow the new board to make all of those decisions? But what we would need to decide is how is that new board going to be
Well, I think
selected?
Well, you're the board right now.
Right.
So it'll be you acting as the foundation board to make that change.
Gretchen could decide this is the way that the board should be made up. But let's open it up for people who want to be on the first board, kind of like with the Bridge Authority. We can either say, well, we're going to have people appointed. Seems more logical to say, if you're interested, apply. Maybe as the first board, we then take those applications and we choose the first board, and then the new rules and regulations get put into place.
Is there a way, I think I asked this before, Gretchen, but I can't remember. Can the Port of Hood River Foundation be like the parent foundation with maybe a more specific name for the waterfront and more specific name for the airport branch? Because I feel like the Port of Hood River Foundation is not the best name if we're not wanting it to Port Street. points straight to the port.
If I can address that. One, the genesis of the foundation was basically people coming to me saying, we want to donate money at the airport for this project. We don't want to give money to the port because
We don't trust them.
we don't trust the port. There is a long history of black box finances and
Yeah.
issues. So when we went about the work initially of let's set up the 501c3, it was set up to be very, very broad with the thought that it would be, of course, like all 501c3s, exclusive for charitable purposes, but it could be something that could lessen the burdens of the port in a variety of different ways. If somebody had a pet project and they wanted to earmark money for a little mini park somewhere on some property that the port owns, that the 501c3 could be a way that people could be involved, a way for community involvement. So that idea of keeping it general and not too specific, I think that's valuable. And so the idea of like breaking it up into a very bureaucratic system of hierarchies, I don't love that. And for a lot of what this foundation exists for is just oversight of donated money. I am completely in favor of having other people be the board members because the idea is that it's a community engagement and there's community oversight. So I love the idea that maybe we appoint one commissioner to be on the board to have that link with the port, but then we get for however many other people. And to me, I think, I'll suggest this, see what you guys think. I think it's as simple as just putting out a notice and saying, hey, we'd like to get community members on this, apply, and then just pick 4 other people. And then we're the current board of the foundation. So it seems like as the current board of the foundation, we could choose those people and then hand it over to them. And then with respect to the license plate project, because that has a lot more stages of community involvement and setting things up, then that's where I think it would be appropriate for that board to make some of the decisions that you're suggesting. Like, what's our time, what's our roadmap? And like, let's get some applications, let's get a fresh board, because your points are good ones. About having it be more of a community facing thing and a way for people to engage. I don't know. The mission statement as it is just very general. It's something like the foundation will assist the port in charitable activities. On the airport side, what we're trying to do there with our long-term thinking about an operations center that would have tie-ins to industry and economic development and resilience in the case of emergencies and things like that. The value of the foundation is to just have a vehicle for people to donate money. It's a tool for donating money. But I can see how with waterfront initiatives it's different. And I respect that. So I would like to propose that we go ahead and just open up a request for members and put it out there and get applications. Hopefully there's a lot of interest.
Should we open it up to the other side of the river?
Can we?
They're not our constituents though.
It's a nonprofit.
That's true. Yeah, it's a little different. You're right.
I don't see why we would want to, but I don't understand why someone want to, because the only thing we can really do anything with is port owned facilities and assets.
No, I understand.
All on this side of the river.
One of the big complaints that we keep hearing in the local community on the other side of the bridge, you never let us be involved, or here could be an opportunity that you could fix that.
Well, couldn't we just open it up and see what we get? And then if we get some applications that seem to be good, we can choose them. But I do like the idea of making sure that a port commissioner always sits on the board of the foundation.
Yeah, just one.
I like that too.
Much like we do committee assignments.
Mhm.
I think that's great. It
Perfect.
maintains good communication.
We're not pausing or reprioritizing anything lower. It's just pausing to get ducks in a row.
Okay, but we're not pausing, we're moving forward with more organization.
Correct.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not backtrack.
more clarity. Yeah.
Right.
So
and I
does that
think-
give you the direction that you need?
Yeah, I think having more community voice involved and people saying, some different perspectives is great.
And along those lines, you did have that recent stakeholder meeting and as well as publicly saying we're accepting applications if you would like to be on the board. If we could make sure that a direct thing goes to the airport advisory committee, to the marine waterfront advisory committee, and anyone that was in attendance at any of those meetings, just have all their notice. Is that all from you?
That's all for me.